why are we doing it? Like, why? What do we keep out of the things that we find? Like, what is the importance of it? And it really, as I said before, it shows us where we have been in the artifacts that we find, where we are now, and some of our, like, we have different children's toys and items from today, and where we're going to be in the future. And that's one thing we'll get to later. But how I defined it was we keep things in order to keep. Oh, geez. Local history relays cherished memories that happened in your kitchen, your bathroom, your bedroom, anything from your backyard. And we keep those alive through our memories today. You know what I mean? So that's why we're doing it. So the Coal Town Preserve is supposed to serve as an immersive form of this, where you can go through and you can grab the things that people 100 years ago might have grabbed, the things that they thought were futuristic, but then we thought are now Jurassic, you know what I mean, to us, like things like coal mining tools, all these things that were the next best thing, but to us seem so old. The hope for us is to keep that alive for as many years as possible, hopefully another 100, 200, as many as we can. So how do we do that? And that's primarily through you. And that's one of the big reasons you're all here. So thank you for your help and your big part that you all play in that. We have Robert Heinlein, an American author, once said, "A generation that ignores history has no past and no future." And we felt like that really resonated with us because without the memories and the recognition and the stories that we have from many years ago, where would we be now? You know what I mean? So, through history, the biggest events in our history were compiled in newspapers and events and stuff like that, but where did all of the specific Coverdale intricacies lie within that? And a lot of them, not overlooked, I wouldn't say, because there were absolutely big events going on, but a lot of them need to be shown through at this point in time. So Bethel Park is often spoke about and mentioned, however, the intricacies of Coverdale are missed. So, in the Coverdale exhibit, you'll be able to stand where they stood. Like I said, feel the things that they felt and experience the things that they experienced. And this is what we're hoping to bring the immersivity into it. And it's like, how can we most bring this to life for the viewers and for the patrons of it? And that's through our artifacts and our stories that we collect right from citizens. So experiencing local history gives you a feel for the neighborhood, and while keeping you readily connected for what we have planned in the future as a community, unit, neighborhood, so on and so forth. Together, both in the Coal Town Preserve and in our everyday lives, we can build a deeper sense of pride for our community and what we do through the remembrance and honor of those before us. With that, I would like to welcome up Mr. Joe Consolmagno, Bethel Park Ward 1 Councilman and a close friend of Coverdale. So can we all give him a round of applause? He'll say a few words for us.
Thanks, Colin. I appreciate everyone being here today because I know this is an important day for Coverdale and also for Bob and all his workers that put together this program. I know he's been working on it for many, many, many years, and I think today we'll see some of the fruits that he's been bearing. So I want to thank everyone for coming today and look forward to the rest of the program. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Consolmagno. I think an important highlight there is there's plenty of fruits today, tomorrow, and in the future to bear from this project for all of us. You know what I mean? There's lots to gain as an experience, as in enriching our own lives, and as in enriching those to come next. So, I'd now like to invite up the founder of the project and my wonderful father, Mr. Robert McCormick.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, I'd like to welcome everybody. I want to start off just by saying thank you. I invited the people here are the people that had actually something to do with the Coverdale Preserve. They either gave items, they told their stories, they took trips around the neighborhood, one way or another. And I really, it was important for me to make that list and to people that are special to me. So I thank everybody for being here. So this is a special milestone for Coverdale. After all the hard work, struggles, and successes, we are here today for this landmark occasion. Before we get to the unveiling of the Coverdale Historic District, I want to go around and recognize and thank the people involved here today. I think it takes an extra couple words and a couple minutes to actually recognize. So when you hear your name, I just want you don't have to step up or nothing, just raise your hand, and so the other people here will know who I'm referring to. First off, I'd like to say Tara. Tara has been on this journey for a long time. It's a roller coaster ride and a long one. Uncertainty and excitement. I don't know how many times we were just like, oh, what are we doing? And I'm talking all the way around. I'm talking from just the amount of work. Every day it's a process to the money. I mean, I can't even tell you that, how much money that was put into this. But I'd like to thank her for putting up with me, because I just change my mind every day, and it's always something different, so. But I have to mention that she's a great researcher. I'll have an item from a basement around here or something, or somebody gave me. I'm not really sure what the item was, or and I'll hand it to her, and she'll go, and 2 days later she'll have everything about this item and then all written down for me, and and it really adds to it. So if we can thank Terry here. Yeah. For Colin, I want to say sitting at the sitting at the dinner table, listening to another crazy idea from Dad. Our late night talks, throwing ideas at each other is very important to me. We talk about, this is something that we talk about every single day. Like, this is a part of our lives, and one way or another, whether it's just going down and making sure something's right with the house, or just an item, or writing, or something. There's always something. So, but I like to bounce things off him, because he has a standpoint from a younger generation, and he's very happy to tell me, no, Dad, that's not going to work. But whether he's opinionated or not, he's always supporting. And not to mention that I don't have a lot of people that actually can lift a lot of heavy things, and so I really lean on Colin. I'm like, we got another piece of furniture, buddy. And he's always supportive. So I wanted, and Colin, just all around great guy. So thank you to Colin. Where's he at? Jaden. Okay. Colin's girlfriend Jaden has helped with the writing last summer, and that's a job and a chore in itself. I am so indecisive and picky, and about how something should be written, the history of an item, and it goes on and on. Most people would have just wrinkled up paper and threw it away, but Jaden and Colin are very patient, so thank you. Thank you. Where's, I don't see her right now. Eliza. Oh, right there. Okay. Eliza's not the biggest fan of history at all. Okay. But I think we're starting to make a dent. But Eliza is willing to help at any time. Although she did not want to stand up and speak today, she is more than willing to take the role as hostess. Who knows? Maybe the next gathering she will be speaking, maybe with her mom. Peggy, my mother, I want to share a little story about the day this summer that I have a small Ford Escape, and it was filled completely from front to back all the way up with wood lath. This lath was to make different projects within the house. I brought it back, and when I backed into the driveway of the preserve, I asked her to give me a hand, and her and Tara sat there forever pulling nails, little mini nails out of this lath for hours, and I appreciate that. Also, putting up with me as a kid walking around Coverdale picking up everybody's garbage, and she would be like, put that back, quit garbage picking, so I appreciate that. Thank you. I can't, where's that? Henrietta. Okay. Oh, wait, oh, right there. Okay, Henrietta. When we had the Coverdale exhibit down at the Bethel Baptist Church, she was always about reorganizing for me. She would bring personal Coverdale items of her own, making sure everything was spotless all the time. When some people would come down and see the exhibit, she would go in and go in and rearrange it and make sure it was perfect, cleaning everything constantly, and make sure everything was always back, taking very good care of it. So thank you, Henrietta. I don't think he's here right now, but I want to thank Dave Henney. I don't think that there is ever a man in my life or anybody who is ever more enthusiastic about Coverdale than Dave Henney. I cannot tell you the hours that we spent talking about different things and me recording his stories. Each time I'm with him, we talk about old Coverdale stories and laugh, and then I come back and just kind of relive that through there. So I wanted to say something to him. But right now, Kathy and Michelle, can you put your hands up right there? Okay. I appreciate Kathy and Michelle for their willingness to help. I cannot tell you how many times Kathy has said to me that she would be help out in any way down at the preserve, cleaning up or whatever she needed. Both Kathy and Michelle shared some items, and I'm excited to take them on an upcoming Coverdale tour. So thank you, guys. Pam Decker. Okay. I absolutely love talking to Pam. I am so happy I got to know you. I really am. Her enthusiasm is contagious. Her enthusiasm actually inspired me to dedicate the room in the Coverdale Preserve to Christianity in Coverdale, encompassing Bethel Baptist Church, Bethel Presbyterian, and the Coverdale Mission. So I thank you for that very much. John, okay. each time we have any kind of Coverdale related, John's always willing to be there. John's always also was able to share some coal mining items that I did not have with us. I think it was like a year ago or so. So thank you for your neighborly manner, John. Keith Laverne. Right. Oh, right there. Okay, gotcha. I don't think there's a single time I was together with Keith Laverne without them asking me about the Coverdale exhibit. A few weeks ago, I had a 700-pound boulder delivered in front of the house for the plaque to be installed on. I was telling Keith that I don't know how I'm going to move this, how I'm going to have it inset, like all these things that I just never dealt with before. And the next day, I get a text from Keith saying, I got a tow strap and a truck. How's tomorrow? So I thank you both for your support, ideas, and great company. Debbie. Debbie, myself, and Tara recently took what we call a Coverdale tour. For those of you who don't know what a Coverdale tour is, we take people that are interested and we literally creep down each street, house by house, and try to get any information they have and just try to really put history together. It's a lot of fun. When Debbie first got into the car, it was kind of every time anybody gets in the car, no one really knows what to do or how to react there. But 5 minutes into it, we had a great time, and then we actually went a second time because we ran out of time the first time. So that was very nice. Also, she has over the years given a couple things to the preserve, so I thank you very much, Debbie. I want to talk about Tim Maury and Joe Consolmagno. I wanted to tell everybody a story about an evening a few years ago. Both Tim and Joe met me down at Bethel Baptist Church when the Coverdale exhibit was there and spoke to me about the exhibit. They both took the time to hear my vision, offer some words of wisdom, and a little direction. I did not talk to Councilman Tim or Councilman Joe. I just talked to Tim and Joe, and I have to say I really appreciate that. I don't think I've ever expressed how much I appreciated that night. It was just a friendly conversation. Also, on top of that, I get an email from time to time from Mr. Maury saying that he has an old Coverdale picture. I think there was a map one time. There's some different things related to the neighborhood. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you both very much. I appreciate that very much. I'll give them a round of applause. I wanted Diane Ford cannot be here tonight, but I wanted to say something. I wanted to thank her for the contributions over the Coverdale exhibit. and I'm going to get into a little bit of that in a minute, but I kind of did this backwards. But every time I talk to Diane about the Coverdale exhibit, she shows enthusiasm about the project, and she always has her ideas to share. Her husband Tyrone is just as guilty with enthusiasm. Each and every time I see him, he asks me how I'm doing and how's the house coming. And then I want to thank the Pittsburgh History and Landmark Foundation Committee for considering and recognizing Coverdale as an historic district. There's a man that I was emailing back and forth with. His name is Frank Stoker from the foundation. This man has patience of a saint, absolute patience. During the process, having the Coverdale plaque made, we went back and forth by email with different drafts of how it should be set up. Well, if anybody knows me, I'm just indecisive. And I went back and forth and back and forth. I mean, we have a long list of emails back and forth. And every time this man was so kind to me, and it ended up that the plaque that we had made was his first draft, so, and I apologized to him after all these big list of emails. I apologized, and we said, don't worry about it. You can't do it twice, what I mean? So I have to thank him very much for that. I also want to thank Dave Cable of BPTV. He couldn't be here today, but he had a son's soccer game, but I wanted to say thank you for always wanting to be a part of the Coverdale exhibit. He pushes to get into the house, and I'm like, I can't do it. He wants to do a series of size, so I just can't. I just can't, Dave. And I'm not a TV guy, So, but he's always asking how you're doing. So I wanted to say I appreciate him. I also want to say thank you to the supportive neighbors such as Randy and Barry, Miss Mucci. Thank you very much, Diane and Rose, Mr. North. Thank you. We've had a lot of good conversations and contributions. I always will appreciate that. Thank you very much. And Brucey Folletta, I don't think was here right now, was shared some items with you the other day. Michelle and Romy, and a neighbor that couldn't make it today is Joe. Just wanting to be a part of the story. I really appreciate that. So can we just give a round of applause for everybody? Now, as the invitation said, I'm going to give a very brief history of what's happening and in kind of the direction we're going to go in. So I think I said this one other time, but as a child walking around in Coverdale, I would always be collecting items from the neighborhood. My mother would tell me, again, to stop garbage picking, But these items meant a lot to me, and I just couldn't see them discarded. I remember one evening I was sitting on the porch next to me talking to Mr. Morovich, and he was telling me about all the mining days. He was telling me, this is what, and it was important to Mr. Morovich because he was telling me, he said, when I die, you got to make sure this story is told. Well, a friend of mine, this was a Friday night, the one night he came up, and my friend was like, come on, let's go out, and I'm sitting here. And I was like, I can't, I'm going to stick here with Mr. Morovich. And he looked at me like I was dead crazy. He was like, you're not going to sit here on a Friday night, and talk to this old man instead of going out. And I was told by him, Mrs. Mazasak, and a lot of local elders that when they were telling me the story and I was showing the interest, and it was told to me that this was my job to tell the story after they are gone. And I promised them that. And I take that very seriously. So after holding these items for several years, the summer of 2004 was the changing point. I was sitting on the porch with Diane Ford, and we were talking about activities we could do for the kids, like a Coverdale kickball, different things like that. And so I was telling her about the items I had, and I said maybe we could go to the park and to the pavilion here and show these items, and just to get the kids involved. What happened is Diane says, hold on, let me go inside and get a notepad and write this down. I was mentioning the collection, and I said this collection is a lot, but maybe we could pull it all out. Then I looked across the street, and I don't know the address right now, but it's next to the greenhouse there. It was abandoned at the time. And I says, in 2004, I said, why can't we make this a Coverdale museum? And we sat there and the ideas flew. We had a plan of actually having a walking field trip where we would actually go down each house and tell the kids about the historical importance of each house. Some of this never came to be, but the idea started that evening, that summer evening. Then life took over and not a whole lot was happened. Then in 2014, my naive self decided to go to the council meeting and express my idea. You know, I was not a nonprofit. I'm not a nonprofit. I had no direction, and I just came there with an idea. And I don't know if you ever spoke in front of a council, but it's very, very intimidating. They look at you very straight-faced. There's no reaction, and it's not fun in any way, you know? Yeah. So, but like I said, I was just trying to, you know, I have this idea, guys. Like, what do you think we could do, you know? So, then one day after that meeting, I says, well, we need a place to display some of this stuff. So we were lucky enough, blessed enough to go have a spot at Bethel Baptist Church. We had a like an unveiling sort of thing one time, and it went over big, really big. And it happened to be where I had people after that contacted me from Castle Shannon, West Virginia, North Carolina, and California. It's crazy how much far out that this extended. That was the boost I needed and we needed. Then it was decided 2856 Cherry Street is the new home of the Coverdale exhibit. But the idea didn't sit well with me that this was just about the coal miners. I didn't want, you know, it bothered me. I wanted this place to be a showcase about the miners' wives, the kids, the surroundings, Christianity in the neighborhood, gardening, canning, entertainment, toys, and just their day-by-day survival. I wanted an all-encompassing thing. I wanted the stories to be told of the wives feeling the ground shake as they were doing their work, and they were running down to the tipple, and they would pray for the tipple, hoping that their husband would come back. How they obtained water from a well, you know, in the winter, heating their homes. How wives made extra money, and the decades after the mine closed. I wanted an all-inclusive things. I wanted to tell the story of the men and women that will not make it into history books. I wanted to make sure that there is no one that contributed to the success of this neighborhood is forgotten. So I went back to the council meeting, intimidating as it was, in 2021 with a little excitement, you know, because this time, the first time I went, I was like, guys, help me, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. This time there was actually an address and there was a little bit of, you know, excitement there, a little bit more confidence, slightly, but not much. But it was becoming a reality. This 2-week project has become the biggest endeavor. At every turn, there is another idea or addition. So here's some quick ideas that I wanted to share with you for the exhibit. We want a one-day opening for the public in the summer of 2025. This will correspond with the 105th anniversary of the neighborhood. Now that is just one day in the future that I wanted open to the public, but we're going to do things a little bit the old-fashioned way. There's no Facebook, there's no website, no drama. To obtain an invitation to the Coverdale exhibit, you must write a letter to us with interest and send it to 2856 Cherry Street, Bethel Park, PA 15102. In return, we will send you an invitation into our home. When you visit the Coverdale Preserve, we ask that there's no cell phones, no audio or video of any kind. This is a home. This is someplace we want to just relax and have fun. We can expect your visit to last about 2 hours, but you can certainly stay as long as, because you are our personal guest. A lot of people say, well, what have you done so far? Well, I can say this: collect, and collect. I mean, we have a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And we do this all by word of mouth, the old-fashioned way. Items from Coverdale, a lot of items from the Pittsburgh Coal Company, the Montour Railroad, and the Mine Safety Appliances makes up the Coal Time Preserve. I think Colin and I already touched on this, but a place where you can touch and feel the different kinds of coal. We have a table where it's set up where you can actually feel. We have, believe it or not, I've collected Red Dog over the years, and I got a big collection of Red Dog and fly ash and the different coals, so you can actually feel and see what it is. You'll see furniture, kitchen appliances, tools, everything you would see in a mining house from 1920 up to the present. There is literally something for everybody. 5 years old or 105 years old, you will relate. We dig deep into everything. We are involved in a history project recently concerning a huge division between the coal union and anti-union groups. This project that we collected old union and non-union chants and ballads and recreated them perfectly. We are doing our best to cover everything. If we don't, you can add it in yourself. This is the community projects. There's a lot of ways you can help. You call me at any time, I can give you a job. Like literally, like I have a problem. Like each item that we have, we're going to have actually a typed list with like a very detailed what the item is, who it came from, what neighbor in the neighborhood, which house did it stay at, and where the item came from. So writing these things out, I'm just not good at, and I'm always leaning on, Colin, and I was leaning on Jaden for that to help things out. We just acquired a letter from Poland, and I think I seen it at the Historical Society. They were doing German, I think. This is a Polish letter that was handwritten, and I would love to, me and Tara, we tried to use the Google Translate to one word at a time, and it took us literally an hour and a half to do like a half a sentence. It was terrible, but that's another way. Moving furniture, anybody that's willing to do that. We have a lot of heavy stuff. Some of these old heaters, I mean, they're hundreds of pounds. We could always use help with that. Researching items and helping out the Coverdale Pictures and Stories. Anytime you have please share them. You can come to the house. You can write them on a piece of paper. We have audio equipment where you can just talk, So any way you have we would love, there's a lot of different ways that, you can help. And when it actually comes closer to actually being opened, there's an inch of dust on everything, it's on everything, because it's just, and we just need to clean it up. And I think Miss Decker, you said you wanted to help arrange and organize some things, and I would love your help on that back room that we have, that I, was inspired from you. Yeah, so thank you. So, okay, the unveiling. Here we go. So, for years, and especially at the 100th anniversary celebration, I heard the same thing over and over and over. This place needs to be a historic district. Today, that thought is a reality. Let this plaque be a reminder of the important place Coverdale is. This plaque is dedicated to all the hard work, good people, past and present, who chose to be a positive part of Coverdale. We look forward. Okay, we look forward to the next page, but stay grounded knowing our roots. Together, we will write the next page of history on the basis of the past. In 100 more years, we hope that the Coal Town Preserve, Coverdale, and the commemorative plaque are standing taller and even prouder than they are today. With over a century of hard work and rich history, I would like to present the Pittsburgh History and Landmark Foundation plaque for the Coverdale neighborhood. Very careful. Yeah, hold it. What I would like to do, this. Oh, I didn't add this. This plaque, I may have added it. Will be on the boulder, with Keith's help. No, with Keith's help, we're going to somehow move that boulder in front of the Coverdale Preserve. This is a big deal to me, and I said everybody that I invited out of my heart. I would like to get a picture with everybody with the plaque, and so we could put that in the preserve. So if we could do that.